you can now afford to be a little more selective.
I think for me, it's sort of, I made a choice pretty early on in my career that I was going to be selective about the jobs that I took. And I think it was because my goal ultimately wasn't to be famous and rich or whatever. My goal was to work in a career that I knew I would be proud of and I wouldn't have any sort of regrets and I wouldn't make compromises. But I think as women it's a little different because for us, it's like 99.9% of the time they want us to get naked.
Right.
So
they actually asked me to get naked all the time as well, but then after seeing everything, immediately tell me to put my clothes back.
Oh, nice. That's always good.
You can have a stable career in this industry without being quote unquote famous. And there's so many actors that are talented that we know who are working all the time that you might not necessarily know.
Right.
But they have viable careers doing that. And I think that's something that I learned because at the beginning of this process, I was like, I have to be quote unquote celebrity. That's the only way that I know that I've made it. You know. Whereas now I'm realizing, no, that's not necessarily the case.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that about you. I mean, I knew you want to be in a K-pop boy band.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Look
Okay,
at this.
now it's all coming out.
Like, let's be real.
I did actually audition for it. It was really bad.
It's okay, I was in a girl group once. See, actors, man, we've literally had to do
gone through
everything.
everything.
All we did was sing songs like, sexy, rich, and famous.
I would buy that single right
Would
now.
you buy it?
I would buy it.
Yeah, it never went live. We recorded like 10 songs and then our group
Can you give me the chorus one more time?
No. Sexy, rich, and famous.
Okay. Pop group that I auditioned for, like everyone there was 13. But
Oh, that's the other thing
you know,
too. Yeah,
Asians
everybody was like
age
18.
well.
Yeah, he's actually 45, guys.
Yeah.
He looks really good for 45.
Yeah.
Really
Use
good.
moisturizer every night.
The Asians, we don't age.
Yep. I mean, you can still play high school.
I'm literally working with people half my age, and he's not really 45.
Yeah.
How old are you?
An actor never tells his age.
And I'm 32. The whole internet knows. They always go Arden Cho 32. I'm like, why? Every article is like, oh, 30-year-old Arden. Okay, it's like, why do they gotta remind them? Why can't they just say Arden, actress? Like, why do they have to say my age? I mean, I'm not gonna lie about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, age doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And I think that age shaming is just whack. I hate it so much because I feel like you should be able to do whatever you want and what you love at any age, anytime. Like if at 40-year-old I decide, hey, I want to quit acting and I want to do something else, I should be able to.
Yeah. Actually, I feel like there's a great market for older Asian actors.
No, there is. There's
Yeah.
never enough people to play like mom
Our
and
parents,
dad.
yeah,
parents.
that's true.
It's just because I feel like for Asian Americans and just Asians in general, it was sort of taboo 30 years ago. It was just not something people were excited to do or thought was possible.
Right.
Actually, fun fact, Arden's 10th year in LA was just a couple of days ago. And then Justin, I think I heard you guys mention that he's very similar in like the timeline of where you guys are going. He's in his 5th year. So what would 10-year Arden tell 5th year Justin about starting off as an actor in the city of dreams?
Good question.
Okay, so 10-year Arden would tell 5-year Justin. If it hasn't happened, no,
Give
not
up
get
and
out.
get out.
That's what I tell myself every other day. Honestly, I think on a good day, I would say you're probably going to want to quit every other day, but keep going. And definitely don't give up. On a bad day, I would say get out of here. I think honestly, one of the things that I'm still learning right now is really learning to take it day by day and not have expectations. Also not compare your career and your journey with any other actor. I can't tell you how many friends of mine that are actors who have incredibly successful, consistent careers, but their journey has been so different. Like I have a friend who moved out to LA and their first pilot season booked a show that ended up shooting 8 or 7 seasons and is like an incredible star now. And it just worked out for him. That's how life is, you know? For me, I went through like 6 or 7 pilot seasons, didn't book anything. Like sometimes people start questioning like, maybe I'm not good, maybe I should quit. But I know you are good and you definitely shouldn't quit. It's just gonna be a matter of time, and when you get that right role and the right opportunity that really fits, and you book that job, that's yours. And so I would just say 100% don't give up. And don't when I say you're good, because I know you gotta believe it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You really have to believe that it's intentional that you're here. Every single day, you're gonna have rejection, you're gonna have negativity, and there's going to be doubt. And unless you really believe in yourself, you're just not gonna make it.
I hate to repeat a lot of what you said, but yeah, that it is really a process. Particularly the first few years, I feel like you're planting seeds when you're building relationships with casting directors or with the agents and managers, and you don't and you won't see the fruits of that until many years down the line. I mean, we talked about this
Oh,
yesterday.
last night, yeah.
The audition that I went in for today was because this producer for this small film that I went in for years ago remembered me and was meeting with one of the heads of casting and threw my name in the hat.
Yeah.
So that's really how I got the audition. So yeah, it's tough, but to stick with it and to know that if you do good work and you work hard, that somewhere down the line you'll see that. And that's how you got a lot of your own work as well.
Yeah, me too. I think for me, it's like, it's funny because I feel like I'm auditioning for stuff that I know I'm not right for all the time. But I just go in, I have fun, I do the best work that I can possibly do. And a lot of times, those casting directors will remember me for future projects and say, hey, we liked Arden, she wasn't right for Project A, but I think she's good for Project F, and they'll hire me for something different. So it's always really nice when that happens, and people remember you because ultimately, you're not always right for every project.
Right.
And so I think definitely being, I guess, resilient in that sense.
And realizing that you aren't right for every project, and that's okay.
Right, and
There
so you
are
can't
gonna-
get disappointed about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, but there are going to be roles that are perfect for you, and no one else can play them except you. So those are the things that we wait for, and casting directors want for you because they like your work and they want to find that right fit.
Looking back at your first year, first 2 years, what's so different and what's exactly the same?
Looking back, I would definitely say that my energy going into audition rooms is totally different. I feel like the first almost 6-7 years I walked in with so much fear, so much anxiety. Like I always thought like, I have to be perfect. I can't mess up. I can't screw up. This is like my only chance. And I think there's just like so much desperation and fear. And then now I'm just like going in, it's just like, hey, I'm doing fine. Like thanks for seeing me again. Thanks for letting me come here and audition and try. Like I'm just happy. I feel like now it's like I don't care if I don't book it because then it just meant it wasn't mine. And I feel like I'm over that fear of I really need to get this kind of anxiety, I guess, because also I've auditioned so many times, and that was the only way to be sane through it is learning to just let it go. So I think before there's too much pressure, and it made me really just emotional roller coasters, like, and that's not healthy. Right?
Yeah, I still definitely get nervous and let fear kind of take over sometimes. But yeah, it's getting better, definitely for sure. And realizing that auditioning is part of the process and learning to love it. I think
That's key.
Yeah, I think
Because I still hate auditions.
we just want the part, and realizing though that 90% of our lives are going to be auditions, so just learning to love that part. And we are acting,
Yeah.
so
You have to make it fun.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is it's like nobody wants to go on a job interview every single day, or
Right.
3 times a day, or 5 times a day. Like when we book a job, when it ends, we have to like do the whole process again. And it just happens over and over, and it never really ends unless you're like in that top 0.01 percentile where you're like a mega star and you just get offers left and right.
right.